In this video, I'll be showing you how to set up your labor types. Simply clicking and bringing up your labor type setup window. You'll notice at the top here we have our labor type name. We have our unit of measure, so square yard, square foot, whatever it is, or how you sell your product. You have your retail price that you're charging the customer, and then you have your cost that you're paying your installer to install this particular job. As far as the units go, we want you to make sure that you are setting this up the same way that you sell the product. So if you sell your carpet in square foot, make sure you set up your labor type as square foot as well. Down below here, you'll see that you have your list of the labor type names that I had mentioned to you. You can change these manually. However, what I would recommend to you is that you export this by using this export button here. Export this list out to a CSV file. Maybe do a side-by-side comparison of your labor types. This will help you determine what you need and what you will not, which ones you might consider changing or adding. This will just make it easier for you with a side-by-side comparison so nothing gets missed. So if you export that, you'll simply just click on the export file, export it out to a CSV file, and then you can export that information back into Q-Floors. If you wanted to make these changes manually to your labor types, what you'll do is simply select the line that you'll be working on. You'll want to make sure that this red arrow appears. That's going to identify the line that you're working on. So you'll select that line. So for example, here we have carpet Berber heavy carpet. You can come in, maybe you don't want to have this listed as Berber, you just want it to be heavy carpet. So I can make that change when I hit enter. That is when you will see it change down here. I have my square foot. Maybe I change the retail of this to $3.99, and you can see that it's affecting those changes as I hit enter. And maybe my cost level on this is going to be $225 that I'm going to pay my installer. So this is your cost level 1 that you're creating. You have additional cost levels. Maybe you have an installer that might be a little bit more experienced, and so you're going to pay him a little bit more as he installs this particular labor type that you're setting up. Maybe you're going to pay him $250 for this. So you'll set up a cost level 1, and you'll set up all these cost levels for cost level 1. So when you assign those additional cost levels, you'll come over to your employee subs, select your installer, and then you'll assign the level that you are paying them for the labor type. So here you have those 4 levels that I've showed earlier. Level 0 is that default column that you can see on there right now, but maybe, like I said, you're paying them on a level 1. So you'll select that level 1, and this installer, now Sierra Installations, will now be paid on that level 1. So back over here, if I go again, and like I said, I create my level 1 pricing, now that installer, Sierra Installations, will be paid $225 on carpet regular. One thing that you should be aware of here is line number 14. This is a no labor line. So if you're not charging any labor on, for example, maybe pad, or there's something else that you might be doing, it'll be listed as no labor. You won't be able to edit or make any changes to this line. You can see that if I try and change it, it will bring up a warning letting me know that I cannot modify this line. You'll notice back here on the sales screen, we have on line 2, there's carpet being sold on line 1, pad is on line 2, so it effectively shows no labor because your labor is being charged up here on line 1 with the carpet. So you will be able to go in, and this will automatically select no labor when you save this particular file. So if I didn't happen to enter anything at all into my labor line, when I come back to this proposal or invoice, it'll automatically be filled in with no labor. One other thing to be aware of too is that if you were to manually enter anything into the labor line, it will not save. So for example, maybe I might put in here some tear out, and when I hit enter, you'll notice that it did not save in that column. I need to select from my drop-down list that I have here from the labor types that you'll be setting up. That's one reason why we do recommend that you set up a prefix. So for example, you see here where it says carpet, coving, carpet, regular. You can now come into your labor type, just type in CAR, and it'll bring up all of your carpets, and then you can manually select what you need to. Please keep in mind that once you begin using the software, if you happen to go back and change a labor name, be aware that it will retroactively change past invoices. So for example, if I happen to come back at a later date after I'm using my software, maybe I'm going to change line 3 from laminate to something else, it will change any past invoices with that labor type. And that is your labor type setups.